World of Warcraft is getting housing this year. And we've just got an update on what it is gonna entail. It's looking super good. But is it gonna be enough to beat Final Fantasy's housing, ESO's housing, Guild Wars 2's housing? Well, in this video, we're gonna go through it. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. And let's get into it. Here we have the blog post. You can go read it by yourself. I'm gonna leave it in the description down below if you want to, but I'm gonna talk more or less and summarize everything that was said, and then we're gonna compare it to the rest of the MMOs and what features they're missing, which features are better, and which features are completely new. First, what does Blizzard want with housing in the new expansion? Well, the first thing they talk about is about the 3 pillars of this system. 1 is going to be boundless self-expression, 2 deeply social, and 3 long-lasting journey. Boundless self-expression is essentially, hey, you can do whatever you want with the system. You're going to be able to make your house in the way that you see fit. Even if you don't have that much experience with 3D, 3D crafting, you're still going to be able to do it comfortable and use it successfully. Also will be very powerful, so you can surprise everyone with your creations and drill down to get the tiniest details just right. The gamut of the core options spans not just the cultures of Azeroth, but the many expansions of World of Warcraft as well. This is very interesting to me because at least in Guild Wars 2, the system we just got this past year, we actually have a very good system on it as well. You can see that I can put something in here, like that, for example. I can modify it in the way that I see fit, I can move it around, I can make it clip, I can make it smaller, I can make it bigger, I can rotate it in however way I want. And this is how people have done absolutely insane stuff with their homesteads. The amount of creativity people have had with the not that many decorations we've gotten, it is absolutely incredible. And being able to create these things with having the specific features we need in World of Warcraft is going to be very important to do so. They haven't really talked about exactly how this is going to be, but considering the fact that they're mentioning this like this, it sounds like they really want this to be the case. So hopefully we'll get more information about it, and hopefully it'll be enough for us to have this. Considering bonus self-expression though, it does seem like it's very obvious that you're going to be able to make your own house. It's not going to be a predetermined house that just goes there and you can just put the decorations in it. Especially considering the concept that we're seeing, we're only seeing decorations and not really houses. Yes, in the neighborhood one. I think it's very obvious that we're gonna be able to create our own house in the way that we want. I wouldn't mind having like a template that you can just put there and be done with it, but I think it's important that we are actually able to create our own thing as well from scratch. The next one is deeply social. World of Warcraft is more fun with other players, and housing should be no different. While players can enjoy housing purely on their own, its systems are designed at a fundamental level to encourage interacting, playing, and progressing with friends, neighbors, guilds, and the wider community in a meaningful way. Now, this sounds absolutely great. I think that's what we need a little bit more in MMOs, a bit more social availability. I want to hang out with my friends in my house. I want them to come in, to come out whenever they want, as long as they have my permission to do so. I want to be able to showcase my house if I'm really proud of it, if I want to do so. And I want to interact with my friends as well. I want them to be able to do things in my house. And considering the fact that they are actually mentioning this here, I think it's great. Now, progressing is a bit weird. I mean, they probably mean like they can decorate something in your house if you want them to, or they can contribute for you to, like maybe some sort of skin decoration or anything like this, and that would be absolutely great. But I do get a bit worried that maybe it has like a lot of progression to it, and it's not like, hey, just go in there, get your decoration, put it in there. I'm kind of getting scared, and I hope that's not going to be the case, that you just go in and you have to progress through a lot of content, invest a lot of resources in order to make a house that is like minimally good. This is a big problem that Guild Wars 2 has right now with the house system. It's very expensive to get everything done. It's not like super hard, but like every time you make something new, it kind of sucks. It's like, I have to pay even more golds to get something going. So I really hope that they nail that in perfectly. Speaking of deeply social, they also talk about neighborhoods. We're gonna have that in this game. Absolutely great. A whole neighborhood of 50 houses that can be around each other, and you can go visit them. They'll be placed in different places in the neighborhood, whatever you actually probably want. I think that's absolutely super cool, very interactive, very social, and you don't have to be there, but you can if you want, and they're gonna be private versions of this where only a few people can, stay there. You don't need the people that are invited, and some of the ones that are public that you just put your house in there, whatever you want in this neighborhood, and you can see random people that also wanted to do the same thing. Absolutely great idea. I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy XIV has this as well. But obviously in Final Fantasy XIV you have the problem that you will indeed have to pay in order to have this. In this game, apparently, in World of Warcraft, this will not be the case. You'll be able to get it with no problems, and also you'll not have to maintain it with gold, not even your subscription. Even if you indeed unsubscribe for a few months, your house will still be there, which I think is very promising. We don't have the details yet, but I think it's very good. And the third, and then long-lasting journey. This essentially says this expansion may indeed have housing, but this doesn't mean that housing stops here. Every expansion will build upon it, and this means that also if there's a problem, if there's new features that need to be implemented, they will be implemented. This has been a bit of a problem with other MMOs. I know that in Guild Wars 2 it has, that, even though they are putting more decorations, sometimes there's just not enough updates to keep the system going enough. I mean, we had to have a literal add-on in order to get ourselves previews for decorations. And it's been months since this actually released. I am sure that World of Warcraft has the resources to do this. Now, I've seen them abandon features before. I don't think this is one of those, mainly because it's just so interactive with so many other things, so many other systems. Like every type of collection you can do in World of Warcraft, which is mainly a collection game in a lot of the time, will be affected by this. So I really think they will indeed put a lot of effort into it, even in the further expansions, just like they did with Dragonfly, for example. So I actually do believe in this. I think they will. And honestly, with all that we have talked about already, I'm very excited. In terms of shop, in terms of monetization, now I'm not really gonna say pay to win. They're gonna make us buy the decorations. Well, maybe a little bit. According to what they're saying, they essentially say that yes, there will be some things you'll be able to buy in the shop, but most of them will be things that you will get inside of the game. Considering the fact that there's so many skins and decorations and things inside of World of Warcraft, I think it's very likely that only a bit of them will be in the shop. Now, I'm not a shop fan. We're already paying for a subscription, but, this looks very good, and you can with them all, guys. It is what it is. Sometimes, like if this is a good system, I'm gonna have to accept it, and I might not like it that much. I might be like, damn, I wish this wasn't in the shop, but like the game is good, and sometimes you lose, sometimes as a gamer you do lose, you have to fold, and this might be one of those times, because this is all the decoration, all the concept art looks beautiful, but we'll see what happens, and you can obviously disagree with me in this and not participate if you don't like it. They also talk about where the house is gonna be at. Apparently, we're gonna have 2 places to get our houses in. One for Horde, one for Alliance. One in essentially Durotar / Ashara, kind of like deserty, kind of Horde-like. And another one in Elven Forest / Duskwood / Westfall. A little bit of combination of all of them. Now, that sounds a bit boring because there's only 2 zones, one for Horde, one for Alliance. But they did say that as long as you have one character that indeed is Horde or Alliance, you'll be able to get this ones, right? So even if my main is an Alliance character, as long as I create a level 1 or whatever Horde character, I can just go in there and get it for myself, and the other character will be able to join that house regardless, even if it is Alliance. You don't need it to purchase it, essentially. They quote the problems of getting more places like this as one, needing a lot of work. I completely understand, and they say like, hey, we want these songs to be absolutely great, so we will rather start with small, with not that many, and then start going and getting more and more and more, but just focusing on this being absolutely great. And honestly, I agree. I think it's fine. They also say something very weird, and I actually don't understand this. Having many housing zones conflicts with the second pillar of designing a feature that is deeply social. In a world where players can live in many different zones, they become increasingly spread out, and even with aggressive sharding, the chance of seeing other players much less interacting with them drops quickly. I don't quite understand this. It's a very weird thing to say, because like, what is it? Like, are we gonna go around World of Warcraft just looking at at the houses around the world? Are we gonna be able to see them while we're walking around Durota or something? That just sounds... I don't understand that. I don't quite understand that. Wouldn't it not matter if it's something that is instanced anyways? Because you're gonna go in there and boom, get inside of that house, you know, that you choose to go to, or the type of house that you chose to go to anyways, or maybe there could be even a randomizer. Why would sharding be a thing in here, right? I don't quite understand this. Why would they be sharding in anything like this? Does it mean that you're gonna be in your house and a random person that you didn't know is gonna just appear there? Like, all these things are just very... I don't quite understand how this whole deeply social... Like, how is this gonna work? Is it gonna be instance? Is it not gonna be instance? How are you gonna get in someone else's houses? Can you get into anyone else's houses? I feel like there's a better solution here that just gets small. I don't think getting little amounts of zones for our houses is gonna be something that really fixes this problem. It might actually have to be something else. We're gonna have to wait a bit for more information to be able to see what this is, but I really don't understand this system. Maybe I'm confused and you guys can tell me in the comments down below, but that's just how I feel. That's essentially all the information we have. That being said, how does this compare to the other MMOs? Well, I already talked a little bit about other MMOs, specifically Guild Wars 2, because it's the main game that I play, but I really hope a lot of the things that this game has appear in World of Warcraft 2. The gathering, the fact that you can change your skybox, the fact that you can change it so you don't have any jumping damage, so you can do a jumping puzzle, for example, and you can disable mounts or enable mounts so you can do races. The fact that you can have your ults parked and they move around while you're not there. I think that's actually very cool. The fact that you can see your mounts in the middle of your homestead as well. There's so many good things about it. Now, there's obviously some bad things as well. The fact that you can actually use a special X-ray to be able to see all the decorations in the bottom anywhere. The fact that you can transform yourself into a bee to go around and decorate everything for yourself as well. And of course, my favorite one, the fact that you can put a statue of yourself with the weapon and armor set of your choice in order to show it to everyone. Super cool. I want all of these things in the system, otherwise I'll be very heavily disappointed. I really hope they don't put a weird and bad way of crafting your decorations like we do in Guild Wars 2. I don't really like the way that we craft here. I think it should be way easier and way less annoying. I don't like how much gold you have to spend on it, so I really hope they don't do that. And it doesn't seem like we're gonna have the problem that we have in Guild Wars 2 where you can only put 5 people inside of your house. I really hope we get a good limit, a good amount of people inside of your house, multiple, more than 10 at the very least, and you're not locked behind something like that. Otherwise, are we very sad. Now, talking about Final Fantasy XIV, for example, I think they do a great job as well. I think they do everything very well, just like in Guild Wars 2, to be honest. I don't think there's that many difference. That's how good their system is. The only problem they have is the fact that they have like essentially a housing pricing in their video game. You have to buy the houses. They're sometimes not available. If you don't pay, they get taken away from you. It's very annoying. And it seems like World of Warcraft will not do this. So that's a great plus. That being said, Final Fantasy XIV has a very good amount of detail to it. The amount of decorations they have and how little, like small little things you can do on them is something that we don't really see in Guild Wars 2 or ESO in any other game. The lighting changes in between the rooms, the fact that certain rooms are accessible for certain people and not, they have the fact that they have notes. All these things are things that really no other MMO has, and I don't know if World of Warcraft is gonna be going as deep in their system as this, but I really hope they can. And if not, I'm guessing that Final Fantasy XIV will indeed have a bit of an advantage against World of Warcraft in this regard. Go check this YouTube, by the way, for this person who did this house. Is absolutely beautiful. Alice C Housing looks, what a great job, and subscribe to them too. Now, ESO also has a good amount of stuff. There's so many things that you can do, and honestly, I don't think we have anything like this inside of other MMOs. You can put mounts inside of your house that go around in the path that you wanted to. You can do the same thing with NPCs. That's just such a weird thing that you wouldn't really have as an option inside of other MMOs. Maybe you could do this with in WoW as well. WoW is a game where mounts are very important. So getting them around, making them parade around, especially the ones that you really like and feel very powerful, very proud of, I think is absolutely great. And I would really like this type of mini details to be implemented. Maybe not right now on the release, but I think this is definitely one of the things that ESO could have over the WoW housing system. So if if they want to go even further and get the best housing system in MMOs, I think they're gonna have to go for this. Now, all these things are not needed. You don't need to have all of this for it to be successful, but I think it's cool to consider that this could be things that we go around and play with. That being said, I do think we need a bit more answers about what we want. I think we need to know how much customization in terms of decorating will we have in World of Warcraft. We'll be able to rotate them, scale them, move them around in which way, right? We'll be able to change terrain, for example. That's something that Final Fantasy, Guild Wars 2 or ESO don't have. I think that Fantasy Star Online 2 does have this, but we don't really have this here, so I wonder. So we'll have to wait and see. About it though, that's the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Tell me if I missed anything, or if you have any other good ideas for your perfect housing system. And let's see how it ends up going. We have I guess not even a 1 year, a few months to be getting this, probably like around what, September or something like that. So I'm excited to see how it goes, and yeah, I'm excited. And I only beg you, Blizzard, please let me merge my NA account with my AU account so I don't lose all the skins that I've been working with forever, because now I play on an AU account. Please let me just transfer them in some way. I am begging you. I have so much work in there. Don't let me lose it now that you have this feature, please. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want some more content. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye-bye.